What's going on, guys? Today, we're going to explore together one of the most insane and terrifying truths in the entire DC universe: a ring. At first glance, it's just a small piece of jewelry, green in color, emitting a soft glow. But that ring is the most powerful weapon in the entire universe, a tool capable of turning every thought, every idea, every imagination into absolute physical reality. And those who wield it, the Green Lantern Corps, are not just ordinary space police. They are warriors selected from thousands of races across 3,600 sectors of space, individuals possessing the strongest willpower in the entire universe. And on one fateful day, the entire Green Lantern Corps, more than 7,200 members, simultaneously received an emergency signal from the central planet Oa. An ancient entity, known by the name Volthoom, had awakened after billions of years of imprisonment within the central power battery. He was no ordinary enemy, not Sinestro with his yellow ring, not Atrocitus with his red rage. He was the first Green Lantern, the one who had once traveled across countless realities, the one who had accumulated power from thousands of different universes, and now declared that all of reality was nothing but a failed experiment that needed to be reset from the beginning. And in the darkest moment, when the most powerful Green Lanterns such as Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner were all defeated in mere seconds, the Guardians of the Universe, the immortal beings who created the Green Lantern Corps, were forced to utter in trembling, horror-filled voices, "We were wrong. The power we gave them, it is not a tool for maintaining order. It is the key that opens the door to the destruction of all creation." In that moment, we came to realize a terrifying truth. The Green Lanterns are not simply heroes. They are the most dangerous beings the universe has ever produced, and their power could erase all of reality with just a single wrong thought. And that is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the true power of the Green Lanterns. Before we dive deeper into the story of the Green Lantern's true power, we need to understand why a seemingly simple ring could be the greatest threat the multiverse has ever known, a tool whose very nature far transcends the boundaries of conventional science and magic. This comes from a dark chapter in DC history, a truth revealed in the series Green Lantern, Blackest Night, and later explored more deeply in Dark Knights, Metal and Death Metal. This is a universe where the power of the rings is no longer a symbol of hope and justice. It has become an instrument of absolute destruction, as cosmic entities came to realize they had placed the power of God into the hands of mortal beings, filled with emotion and prone to error. One guardian, Ganthet, in his final moments before the planet Oa fell, we believed that will was the purest force, a power capable of overcoming all fear. But we forgot one thing. Will does not distinguish between good and evil. It is simply the ability to turn desire into reality. And when that desire is destruction, nothing can stop it. This is the psychological starting point for the entire story. The true mission of the Green Lantern Corps is not to protect the universe from outside enemies. It is to protect the universe from their own power. When you hear me say that a Green Lantern ring is powerful enough to create anything, that is no exaggeration. A true Green Lantern does not simply create basic objects like fists or shields. They can create complex machinery with thousands of moving parts, living creatures with their own consciousness, and even artificial planets, complete with full atmospheres and ecosystems. They can travel through time, open gateways to other dimensions, and in the most extreme cases, they can reconstruct all of reality from nothing but their own memories. For a Green Lantern at the peak of their power, the boundary between reality and imagination simply does not exist. Everything they think of becomes true. The ring has no moral consciousness. It cannot distinguish between a good thought and a bad one. It simply carries out the commands of its wearer, absolutely and without compromise. If a Green Lantern, in a moment of weakness, thinks "I wish all this suffering would end," the ring might interpret that as a command to erase all life in the universe, and it would carry out that command without a single moment of hesitation. This is the tragedy of the Green Lantern Corps. They are mortal beings granted the power of God, yet bound by the very emotions and mistakes that make them human. All right, a catastrophe that truly unfolded in DC history. The event known as Emerald Twilight, in which Hal Jordan, the greatest Green Lantern, lost control and single-handedly destroyed the entire Green Lantern Corps, along with an extremely important flashback from the past that explains the true origin of this power. Coast City, the hometown of Hal Jordan, had just been completely destroyed by Cyborg, Superman, and Mongol. Millions of innocent civilians perished in a single moment. Hal Jordan, who was carrying out a mission at the far edge of the universe at the time, felt the death of each and every one of those people through his ring, and when he returned, all he found was ash and corpses. This was the moment the will of the greatest Green Lantern shattered. Hal Jordan attempted to use his ring to reconstruct Coast City. He created every building, every street, every park, every person. Illusions so perfect they could speak, laugh, and cry. But they were not real. They were nothing more than energy constructs programmed to imitate life. And when Hal realized this, when he looked upon those artificial people living out their lives with no knowledge that they did not truly exist, something inside him broke apart. The Guardians ordered him to stop, telling him he was wasting the ring's energy on a selfish purpose. But Hal would not listen. He decided that, if the ring could not give him what he wanted, he would seek out a greater source of power, the central power battery on the planet Oa. I want to go back in time to explain why the Green Lantern ring possesses such terrifying power. Many people mistakenly believe that the power of a Green Lantern comes from the ring. That is like saying the power of a hurricane comes from the blades of a wind gauge. The ring is merely a tool, a conduit. The true source of power comes from somewhere far more primal and far more terrifying. The emotional spectrum, a cosmic energy field generated by the emotions of every living creature in the entire universe. At the center of the emotional spectrum exist 7 primordial entities, each representing a fundamental emotion. Ion represents will, the embodiment of green energy. Parallax represents fear, the embodiment of yellow energy. Butcher represents rage in red. Ophidian represents avarice in orange. Adara represents hope in blue. Proselyte represents compassion in indigo. And Predator represents love in violet. These entities are not merely power sources for the Lantern Corps. They are living beings with their own consciousness, capable of possessing anyone who dares to draw upon their power. What few people notice is the connection between Parallax and the central power battery. When the Guardians first created the Green Lantern Corps, they faced a fundamental problem. How do you control a power source as immense and as dangerous as this? Their answer was chilling. They captured Parallax, the entity of fear, and imprisoned it within the central power battery itself. Every time a Green Lantern recharged their ring, they were not simply absorbing willpower. They were also absorbing a small fragment of fear from the imprisoned entity. And over time, that fear accumulated, grew larger, and waited for the moment to erupt. That moment came with Hal Jordan. As he flew toward the planet Oa, the Guardians attempted to stop him. They dispatched the entire Green Lantern Corps, including their most powerful members, such as Kilowog, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner, to block his path. But what no one anticipated then came to pass. Parallax, imprisoned within the central power battery, sensed the pain and despair radiating from Hal, and it whispered to him, promising him the power to recreate everything he had lost, to bring back those who had died. Hal, in the depths of absolute desperation, opened himself to that whisper, and Parallax took possession of him. Hal Jordan, now serving as the vessel for the entity of fear, stood alone against the entire Green Lantern Corps. But this was no longer a battle between Green Lanterns. This was a massacre. Hal, empowered by Parallax, was no longer bound by the ordinary rules of the ring. He could absorb energy directly from other Green Lanterns, rendering their rings completely useless. He could pierce through every shield, shatter every construct. One by one, members of the Green Lantern Corps fell, not because they were weak, but because they were fighting against their own fear made manifest. Let's break this down for a moment. Why is the power of a Green Lantern so terrifying? Because it is not bound by physics. Superman has limits to his physical strength. The Flash has limits to his speed. Even Darkseid has limits to his cosmic power. But a Green Lantern does not. Their power scales directly with the will and imagination of the user. And in an infinite universe, imagination is the one thing that has no limits. A Green Lantern with sufficient will and imagination can do anything. Create life, destroy planets, bend space-time, and even challenge cosmic entities such as the Spectre or the Anti-Monitor. Hal Jordan, while possessed by Parallax, reached the absolute peak of this power. He single-handedly destroyed the entire Green Lantern Corps, absorbed all the energy of the central battery, and transformed into a cosmic entity of near unlimited power. This is the moment I personally believe stands as one of the most insane and terrifying displays of power in all of DC history. The battle between Hal Jordan under Parallax's possession and the Guardians of the Universe themselves, the very beings who created the Green Lantern Corps. After annihilating the entire Green Lantern Corps, Hal Jordan marched into the central citadel of the Guardians. They, immortal beings who had existed long before humanity ever emerged, had faced countless cosmic threats across the ages. But never before had they faced anything like this. One of their own greatest warriors, now transformed into the vessel for the very entity they had imprisoned for billions of years. Ganthet, the one guardian who still retained a measure of emotion and compassion, attempted to reach Hal. "Hal Jordan, we know your pain. We know you have lost everything. But this path will lead only to your own destruction and the destruction of the entire universe. Stop while there is still time." But Hal, or more precisely Parallax controlling Hal's body, did not hesitate for even a moment. He smiled, a twisted smile born of pure fear, and spoke. "You imprisoned me for billions of years inside that battery. You used my power to build your army, and now you will pay the price. But not with death. Death is too easy. You will live, and you will watch everything you have ever built crumble into ruin." In an instant, Hal raised his hand and unleashed the full force of Parallax. But rather than attacking the Guardians directly, he did something far more terrifying. He used his power to bend reality itself, constructing a perfect illusion of the past, recreating the exact moment when the Guardians first made the decision to imprison Parallax. They were trapped in an endless time loop, forced to relive the greatest mistake of their existence over and over again, watching the consequences of that decision ripple outward across the entire universe. But the true climax arrived when Hal Jordan, the last remaining fragment of human consciousness still alive within Parallax, began to fight back against the possession. In the brief moment when Parallax grew careless, Hal called upon his own will, the same will that had made him the greatest Green Lantern who ever lived, and seized back control. And in that rare moment of clarity, Hal did something no one could have anticipated. He did not destroy Parallax, because he knew that was impossible. Instead, he channeled every last remnant of his remaining power to seal both Parallax and himself within the central power battery, choosing to sacrifice himself in order to stop the catastrophe he had unleashed upon the universe. This is the best part, because we get to witness a fundamental shift in the very nature of Green Lantern power. Before this, the ring was considered the ultimate weapon of will, something undefeatable. But Hal Jordan proved that even will itself can be corrupted, that it can become an instrument of destruction when not properly controlled. And the Guardians, those who had always regarded themselves as untouchable, were forced to confront the truth that their own arrogance, specifically their decision to imprison Parallax and exploit its power, had planted the seed of this tragedy. A surreal scene unfolded. Ganthet, the last surviving Guardian, knelt before the central power battery now containing both Hal Jordan and Parallax. He said nothing at all, only wept in silence, green tears falling without a sound. And then he whispered, "We created gods, and then we were surprised when they destroyed us. Let me emphasize this once more, so you truly understand the scale of this power. An ordinary Green Lantern can already construct complex energy structures. A Green Lantern, as powerful as Hal Jordan, can generate an entire city populated by millions of virtual inhabitants. But a Green Lantern possessed by Parallax, with direct access to the raw energy of the emotional spectrum, can restructure all of reality according to their will. They do not merely bend space-time. They can rewrite history, erase events, and create parallel realities where everything unfolds exactly as they desire. This is no longer the power of a hero or a villain. This is the power of a creator. The consequences of this battle rippled outward across the entire DC universe. Kyle Rayner, a young artist from Earth, was given the very last ring by Ganthet and became the sole remaining Green Lantern in existence. But unlike the Green Lanterns who came before him, Kyle had no formal training and no core to support him. He had to teach himself how to wield this terrifying power, and more importantly, he had to learn how to keep it from corrupting him the way it had corrupted Hal Jordan. This is the emotional payoff, the moment where we come to understand the deeper meaning behind all of this power. The power of a Green Lantern is not dangerous because it can destroy planets or kill gods. It is dangerous because it places the power of a god into the hands of mortal beings who are full of emotion and capable of error. Superman can destroy a planet with his fist, but he would never do so because of his moral code. But a Green Lantern, in a single moment of weakness, could accidentally wipe out an entire civilization because of a nightmare. That is where the difference lies. The power of a Green Lantern is the power of thought, and thought can never be fully controlled. This is also precisely why stories about Green Lanterns are always the most compelling and the most terrifying. They are not stories about defeating enemies from the outside. They are stories about the war within, about controlling the power that lives inside yourself. Every Green Lantern carries within them a latent Parallax, a corrupted version of themselves, waiting for a moment of weakness to rise up. And the question is not whether they are strong enough to protect the universe. The question is whether they are strong enough to protect the universe from themselves. And so, is the power of a Green Lantern more terrifying than that of cosmic entities? The answer is yes, but in a way you would never expect. Cosmic entities like the Spectre or the Anti-Monitor possess absolute destructive power, but they are bound by the laws of the universe. They cannot act freely according to their own desires. But Green Lanterns are different. They are mortal beings with free will, bound by nothing except their own personal moral code. And in a universe where everything is subject to change, free will is the most dangerous thing of all. And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? If one day Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner were to suffer a loss similar to what Hal Jordan went through, do you think they would fall down the same path as Parallax? Or do you believe that the Earth Green Lanterns are the most dangerous members of the entire Corps because humans possess a more complex emotional range and are more vulnerable than any other race? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do not forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And if you want to support us further so we can keep producing these videos, thank you all for being here with us, and I will see you in the next universe story. Peace out.